Welcome to my reflection on learning and growth in IDT 3600. To start off, ISTE standards are the International Society for Technology in Education, also called ISTE, sets standards for both students and for teachers on our ability to use technology during a lesson. When I created my final lesson plan, I included an ISTE standard to show what type of technology my students would be engaging in. Now it is my turn to show that I have proficiency in each of the 5 standards. What are the 5 standards for teachers? The first is to facilitate and inspire student learning and creativity. The second is to design and develop digital age learning experiences and assessments. The third is to model digital age work and learning. The fourth is to promote and model digital citizenship and responsibility. And the fifth and final one is to engage in professional growth and leadership. The first standard, to facilitate and inspire student learning and creativity, is very important. So when looking at that standard, what is expected from the teacher? Teachers are to use their knowledge of subject matter, teaching and learning, and technology to facilitate experiences that advance student learning, creativity, and innovation in both face-to-face and virtual environments. Within these 5 standards, each one has 4 different substandards. So for the first one, the first substandard is to promote, support, and model creative and innovative thinking and inventiveness. Throughout the semester, we had several different discussion boards that follow after the completion of a lesson. One discussion board in particular asked us to state 2 major ideas to remember when creating an interactive whiteboard activity. Creating a whiteboard activity promotes and supports the child to be creative and to begin thinking. Therefore, when making this activity, you should build the application to where the student has freedom to make their own choices. It also allows for the child to be hands-on and work through their own individual mistakes. Not only are these activities engaging, but they reach to all types of learners. The second substandard is to engage students in exploring real-world issues and solving authentic problems using digital tools and resources. One of my favorite assignments of the semester was using the spreadsheet to calculate total calories in a variety of fast food meals. With obesity becoming an epidemic in the United States, a project like this is ideal for students to engage in real-world issues. The student uses a web resource to find the information, and then by using different equations through Excel to find calorie totals, it exposes the student to digital tools. The third substandard is to promote student reflection using collaborative tools to reveal and clarify students' conceptual understanding and thinking, planning, and creative process. For this course, Mr. King set up discussion boards throughout the semester for us, the students, to collaborate with one another. We had the opportunity to not only give our input to the question, but to also critique our classmates' responses. This allows for the teacher to view the student's comprehension and creativity, as well as leave feedback when needed to help guide a student in the right direction. The fourth and final substandard for the first standard is to model collaborative knowledge construction by engaging in learning with students, colleagues, and others in face-to-face and virtual environments. During our assignment on lecture capturing, I was able to experiment with and learn how to successfully record myself and edit video clips to create one video. This will allow me as a teacher to not only discuss a project or assignment in the classroom, but a child or their parents can have access to certain things through a recording of myself. I can even use Screencast-O-Matic to teach students, colleagues, and others how to complete any task. Now, the second standard is to design and develop digital age learning experiences and assessments. So with this, what is expected from the teacher? Teachers are to design, develop, and evaluate authentic learning experiences and assessments incorporating contemporary tools and resources to maximize content learning in context and to develop the knowledge, skills, and attitudes identified in the standards. For this particular one, I'm going to review 3 of the substandards. The first being that teachers are to design or adapt relevant learning experiences that incorporate digital tools and resources to promote student learning and creativity. 2 projects in particular stand out to me in this category. The first being the comic I created for not only the assignment but also for my final lesson plan. By creating the comic, I learned how to first use ToonDo, how to design and create my own comic, and was also shown how a student can use this comic to show exactly what they learned and apply it. Also, WebQuest allowed for you to design your own lesson and have students follow the web page step by step. At the conclusion, you were able to add special resources students could endeavor to enhance his or her learning experience. Next, the teacher is to develop technology-enriched learning environments that enable all students to pursue their individual curiosities and become active participants in setting their own educational goals, managing their own learning, and assessing their own progress. First, as a teacher, you want the lesson involving technology to allow each individual to take part and to participate. When a whole classroom of students are on computers, how is the teacher supposed to monitor that? In a discussion post, Professor King asked us the following. You discover that a student has been accessing inappropriate sites. Describe how you would handle this situation. What are some strategies you can use to prevent this type of off-task behavior? After answering and reading other classmates' posts, I believe that one way to keep students from becoming off-task is to walk around the room constantly and monitor the student screens. This assures the student is on task and you are able to be more hands-on when students have questions. Finally, teachers are to customize and personalize learning activities to address students' diverse learning styles, working strategies, and abilities using digital tools and resources. One assignment was on Web 2.0 tools, and I was able to explore and expose myself to lots of different websites and tools that students can use for learning or projects. What is Web 2.0, you might ask? Web 2.0 is a term used to describe a new generation of Internet applications that have an increased emphasis on human collaboration. These applications enable people to create their own websites, to self-publish, create and upload audio and video files, and share photos and information. Some examples of Web 2.0 tools are Blogger, Poll Everywhere, and Animoto. By creating a lesson that allows for students to have different methods of presenting the information, it helps reach all the diverse learning styles. The next standard is number 3, which is to model digital age work and learning. What is expected from teachers? Teachers are to exhibit knowledge, skills, and work processes representative of an innovative professional in a global and digital society. 4 substandards that support the standard include demonstrating fluency in technology systems and the transfer of current knowledge to new technologies and situations. For this one, we were to create a PowerPoint as a form of a presentation. Later on in the semester, we were allowed to use Prezi, which is the website I'm currently using for this presentation. By already being exposed to PowerPoint, I was able to use some of those lessons and skills and apply them to this presentation in particular. I was also able to fluently switch to Prezi, and when I got confused about something, I could use trial and error to figure out the correct way to add a link or size a font. Next, teachers are to collaborate with students, peers, parents, and community members using digital tools and resources to support student success and innovation. Through my work in this course, it has prepared me to communicate with students, peers, parents, and community members in order to support student success within the classroom. Using a blog can allow for others to comment, the teacher can show off students' work, the teacher can post video clips of herself or of her students doing projects in the class, but remember, only with parents' consent. And finally, you can add assignments or links for parents to work through with their children at home to further and reiterate what the child has learned throughout the week. Following that, Teachers are to communicate relevant information and ideas effectively to students, parents, and peers using a variety of digital age media and formats. Actually, in my field experience working with Mrs. Miller's classroom, I was able to ask about this topic in particular. Mrs. Miller believed that using the school's Weebly webpage was a huge asset to communicating with both the parents and children. Also, even just using email to communicate with older students and their parents works effectively as well. The parents have the opportunity to respond to all or respond directly back to you depending on the circumstance. Then, teachers are to model and facilitate effective use of current and emerging digital tools to locate, analyze, evaluate, and use information resources to support research and learning. The most fitting work that helped prepare me for this substandard was the creation of my WebQuest page. The WebQuest has a tab for a welcome, introduction, process, evaluation, conclusion, and a teacher page. I was able to create a lesson and use different academic websites to direct students in figuring out the difference between a plant and an animal cell. The freedom this website gives to a child is unlike any other I've used before. The student is allowed to work at their own pace and really discover and research on their own while still being structured under the teacher's instructions. The fourth, but not yet final standard is to promote and model digital citizenship and responsibility. What is expected? Teachers are to understand local and global societal issues and responsibilities in an evolving digital culture and exhibit legal and ethical behavior in their professional practices. The substandards for this, although I did not break them down, I have 3 different sets that kind of worked off of some of the substandards. My work allowed me to model digital citizenship through my WebQuest. I was able to have my own page for resources so that the students could see where I was drawing their web links from and I was giving the web pages credit. I was able to learn how to promote digital etiquette and responsible social interactions through the mobile learning activity. I learned to first educate the students on the rules, regulations, and the safety of using the cell phone, and I was also able to learn that I needed to stress that the cell phone, when using it as part of an activity, is to be strictly used for the project and nothing else at that particular time. Not only in this IDT 3600 class, but also in my Learning in an Urban Environment class, I learned to watch for biases. When searching for a website to use to go along with a lesson, is it culturally diverse or does it lean to one particular race or religion? When deciding, I learned to try and find a website that is diverse in its pictures and teachings. The fifth and final standard is to engage in professional growth and leadership. What is expected of the teacher? Teachers are to continuously improve their professional practice, model lifelong learning, and exhibit leadership in their school and professional community by promoting and demonstrating the effective use of digital tools and resources. Exhibiting leadership by demonstrating a vision of technology, infusion, participating in shared decision making and community building, and developing the leadership and technology skills of others. In my opinion, this entire semester has shaped me in becoming prepared for the leadership, shared decision making, and community building that comes alongside of integrating technology into my lessons. I have taken the technology skills of my teacher that he has passed on to me and have begun to implement them into my work. I feel like as the semester progressed, I became more confident in my abilities and which led to exhibiting leadership when I taught in my observation class. The final substandard is to contribute to the effectiveness, vitality, and self-renewal of the teaching profession of their school and community. I became most aware of how to contribute to the profession of teaching when I was actually in the classroom for my observation. I was able to see effective ways of grasping the student's attention. I also was able to recognize how important time management is with your students when creating a lesson plan. One thing that I would have never taken into consideration is how long it took for a second grader to type. Once I observed that they struggled to find certain keys and pecked the keyboard, I was able to adjust my lesson to fit their individual abilities. After the many assignments that took lots of time and effort to complete, I am so excited to say that not only have I now completed this course, but because of this course, I will now be a better teacher because of it. Thank you for the feedback and encouragement throughout the semester.